What's up, boys? We're back with a bit of Magma Core Recon Scout combo to try and trigger the dodge and movement speed and... No, the reload speed and movement speed off of the dodge, that's what it is. And then we're looking for the weapon taser, the Thor bug taser, excuse me. And we're looking for the weapon box artifact to try and find another beam weapon so that we can get some global beam upgrades onto the bug taser. Also looking for the artifacts that give some nice stats scaling with your overclocks or number of weapon tags to go with the weapon box, since that's one of the most fun combos I've been messing around with recently. And I think since the other beam weapons are mostly focused on status effect based stuff, we'll also try and scale that up on the taser here, just in case we can get the dream combo. Paint job, we can try to eventually find the electrical conversion on that, so that it will fit with the other weapons we're grabbing here a bit better. We have an early XP scanner. Those are actually pretty nice stat-wise. And I don't think we're going any mining weapons, so honestly, I think I'm down to get the ration pack to help me survive a bit better. Runs always feel a bit nicer with that. We definitely want the boomerang and the taser early on here. Okay, there we go. Gonna grab that so we can get more weapon levels on it. I'm not sure what I want on the fourth weapon. Cryo grenade would be good, but then I'd have throwable stuff with the boomerang, so definitely not that. Big pickup radius, the Nishanka would be good, but then that would unlock projectile upgrades with the Zukov. So I might just want like the cryo drone so that I don't unlock anything, and we can hyper focus the upgrades on the taser. Taser. Also, you do want to be taking some hits every once in a while. We'll take... I think I'm going more for status, so reload might be better than damage. But I'll probably push that high enough anyways. We're looking to get a ton of reload speed with the weapon box combos that give a lot of reload speed, so that'll probably get high enough eventually anyways. But yeah, you'll want to take hits eventually from the lava and sometimes some of the smaller bugs just to try and keep the uptime on your passive. So the extra survivability and healing from the ration pack is super nice on the Recon Scout, I feel like. Shellback, let's try and get some early damage on him. If we can stop him here... Thought he was about done with his roll there, and then he would have been on a detonator. Probably have to take a hit from that. But it hits fast enough that I'm almost guaranteed to get a dodge off of it for some extra movement speed. Reload mining. I want both of those, but I'm gonna pump the taser super high here. Magnet right on top of me. We have a paint job, but with how much I'm pumping that, I think it's going to be useless eventually. And light reload should affect almost everything. Status damage, we need a lot of that. Taser level. And then that would unlock projectile, that would be bad. Those would all unlock projectile. Same with these. Okay, stun sweeper, nice. We can grab reload for that to try and find the electric conversion still. Alright, good detonator hits on him now. Now we should have a bit more freedom to focus the ranged guy if I want to. Electrical, we do want a lot of that for the damage and the potency. Luck. So I think that was all the resources, and we'll try to finish him off, or at least get him low and then farm a little bit. Taser will slowly wear him down with the AoE shots and the electrical debuff. We'll take some reload on that, I think. Electrical crit chance isn't super valuable to me, but it is a higher rarity, and that's just damage. Reload would get an overclock, but I guess we'll take a much higher rarity damage. Definitely not sidearms, so this is pretty unfortunate. Explosive reload is just weak, and we can't take that at all when we're focusing it. Big crit chance. Potency. Let's lock that, take a paint job, and another paint job, and no electrical, so this weapon is completely dead to me. The cold would be helpful, but if I end up grabbing the cryo drone, then it would be pretty bad for me. And I can't remember if there's any other weapons I could get that would be decent here, so I think I'm just gonna grab the clip size then.
Overclock, my favorite type of clock.
Kind of sucks to hold that much gold, but the electrical damage plus potency is so good here. And I guess it'll help us reroll here if it's necessary for the weapon coming up soon.
Prepare to fight for your life. The big swarm is approaching.
God, the explosion on the reload is just so bad. It's hitting for like 200 damage here, it looks like. And the range is just so short. That overclock could honestly use an overhaul. So yeah, projectile, all projectile, don't think so, all projectile, all projectile, all projectile, man, it is hard to get good stuff to go with the taser. So yeah, I don't think this unlocks any bad upgrades for us, so we can hyper-focus it now. But I don't know if wasting that much gold is going to pay off in the end. That was a lot of gold. Let's try to set up some of these flowers so I don't get completely caged in. Let's grab a bit of XP here. Don't have any of that yet, and we're gonna have a ton of reload speed anyways. Taser. Taser.
Dial it in. Feel much better now.
I probably don't want to kill the elites if I can help it. We can get an overclock off potency. I definitely want this, but I'm thinking I want to take this first to help out our early game a bit. I think I'm pretty weak in the early game, and getting that combo together would be nice to keep them in the area collecting XP for a long time. I don't think I'm going to be able to keep them alive though. Honestly, I'm down for the super early red sugar to help my survivability. Those are actually not bad either, but gotta get this one early to get good value out of it. So we'll go some more XP here.
Satisfied. The drop pod is arriving.
More XP, I guess. Let's go reload on that. I can probably make it back. We'll take the taser level here. I just need a few hits on this, I think. Bit of HP. And then that should finish it, and I should be able to get back with my movement from dodging, which should be pretty easy to keep up here. Grab a bit of crit damage there. Yeah, that level wasn't really optimal. I think we missed a bunch of stuff there, but oh well. I don't think I could have really avoided squashing the bugs. Status damage. We're out of gold if I take that, and I might need a few rerolls here for some decent stuff. Taser level. Status damage.
Take it. Let me try again.
Ooh, big taser. Yup.
Legendary upgrade. How can I not?
Up and at him, miner.
I feel like it's going to be pretty hard to make the explosion on reload actually useful. Taser level into an overclock. Can't take that, so +1 beams. I'm thinking like if they gave it maybe 10 times as much damage, it might be useful with such a short range. But maybe they could do something like it applies a damage taken debuff, sort of like acid. So that way you could have a sort of risk versus reward thing against bosses. It would give you pretty good single target damage, but it would be kind of risky to use. But I just don't see what the point of a low damage melee range explosion is right now. Maybe you could apply a ton of the elemental stacks that the weapon it's on has. So with the taser right now, it'd do a bunch of shock stacks, which would increase crit chance and do a bit of AoE damage. And then that would actually be pretty rewarding if you could get a lot of stacks on a bunch of enemies at the same time, even though that would be pretty risky. Ooh, chemist kits. We will take that for a potency base build, take the potency on that. Oh yeah, I need to remember the red sugar now, that's pretty important for my long-term survivability. I'm gonna take the status, I think. Oh, there's some red sugar over there.
The scanner just lit up like a Christmas tree. We have a swarm incoming.
If we can set the flowers off there, they might help me finish the hoarder. Okay, nice. Piercing won't really affect a whole lot here since that's stuck on kinetic. So I'm thinking probably the crit chance since we'll be getting that way past 18.
Oh yeah, now we're
Take the potency for that.
Well done, you got them all.
one down. Shut your lights off.
Electrical and potency. We have a slasher and a spitter. Not too bad.
Die, freak. Never felt better.
Taser.
Take that.
The clock's ticking, Miner. Get it wrapped up.
We finally have a magnet that's not right on top of me as it drops. Could probably use some mining speed.
Bugs aren't appreciating your presence, Miner. Get the lead out.
Really much better.
We got
Let's get a little bit of armor to go with all of that HP I'll be getting. These are just not good now. We might want the overclock eventually in case I get the turbo encabulator artifact for global damage and reload speed. But not getting the electric conversion on the Zukov just hurts so bad here. Some global damage.
threat level increasing.
Think you can kill me? Well, think again.
Taser.
This is perfect for my build.
Decent crit status. I think that probably fits a bit more here.
I rarely pick one of these.
Some nice movement. Electrical and potency. I do think I want to max that stats. Damage, reload, damage. I think we take the reload. It's the most useful stat out of these for how I'm building. Reload. Bit more reload.
Quota satisfied. The drop pod is arriving. Get moving. It won't hang around.
Think you can kill me? Think you
That would get an overclock, I guess. And there we go. Good timing on that to grab all that XP that we just AoE'd down, hopefully. No, it's not really doing it. We'll grab a bit more crit chance there.
Pod is about to leave. Get your ass moving, Miner.
The boomerang suck up as much XP as possible on the way out.
Taking you to stage 4, Miner.
Grab our +1 beam, some status, pick up.
don't see these every day.
Potency is the most useful stat on that. but maybe if it was green.
Show me more.
Status damage, yup.
Hell yeah.
Bit more
I
pickup.
rarely pick one of these.
I don't think I'm gonna grab damage for that, mainly looking for reload or potency.
To shoot and work to be done. Get to it, miner. The scavengers lit up like a Christmas tree. We got a swarm incoming.
Just not good now that that's stuck over there, but I guess we'll still take it. It's probably still somewhat helpful in the early game, with all the light reload speed we're taking for the boomerang and the taser. But it's definitely not going to scale well with all the electrical upgrades we're getting now.
Let's get the next one.
Exemplary work. You achieved your objective. Swarm is approaching. Got a blocked landing site for a supply pod. Get it cleared out, miner.
It's so hard to get the correct angle to hit all 5 of those sometimes. Another magnet right on top of me. Feels like I hit all 5 of them and then my dwarf just shifts to the side sometimes and only ends up hitting 4 of them. Some massive wall trying to get to the supply pod here. Gonna have to set off some of the detonators, I think, and then that blows a hole for me. Potency, yup. We can squash one and keep the other alive for a bit. Okay, coupons and encabulator are both very nice here. We don't really have any resource generation to go with that, but it's still solid. And I think the earlier you get that, the better. We don't have the weapon box yet, and I don't have any mining speed to go with that, so let's go coupons here, I think. I actually just straight up wouldn't even really be able to mine right now if I took the encabulator. Although it is one of my favorite artifacts now. Yeah, let's get some mining speed.
My scanner is overloading, miner. Get a move on.
damage. I think reload speed on that is the most useful here. The only actual good weapon out of those choices for the current run.
Sign the likes of which I've never seen.
Zukov would be great if it was electrical, but it's not.
All tasks complete. Stage finished. The drop pod is prepped and ready. Get on it before it leaves.
We have a damage. Let's go for the potency. Go, my tiny little taser explosions. Tickle them to death.
Stage 4 completed. Next stage is the dreadnought. Prepare accordingly.
Potency, taser into level 18. Grab the chain lightning.
Time to kill.
Take a bit more movement.
Let me try again.
More taser
I rarely
potency.
go for this one.
I don't know that we really need weapon range on it. We have a legendary for that already, and it seems to be firing fine, so I'm more interested in potency and reload for it, I think. Paint jobs to help us get overclocks.
What else?
Electrical and potency, some mining. I could get some decent value out of that since we're applying a lot of electrical stats for crit chance. But I'm kind of leaning towards just these two. Yeah, oh well.
I'm gonna be the best survivor.
Here we go. You've found the dreadnought. Now you just need to make it come out of hibernation by destroying the cocoons. Show them what a single dwarf can do.
Crit damage isn't the greatest, but it does apply to all of my weapons at least. So we'll get some scaling for the Zukov and the drone. Luck or big damage. We'll take the luck, I think. Still pretty early on.
Yeah.
I think my single target damage is going to be pretty bad. It's probably mostly going to be the boomerang hitting multiple times. Zukov would help so much if it was electrical.
Can't land the supply pod. The impact zone is cluttered. Get it fixed.
Sorry. Your own fault.
Supply pod incoming.
I actually don't mind the calibrator. That would help me keep the buff up, since it can sometimes be hard to stay in the lava pools, but this is just solid since we held a bunch of nitra here, and I did get that big crit damage.
Rarely go for this one.
And I probably do want to get the highest damage one here to help out with the single targets. Reload speed.
Objective completed. Excellent job.
Yeah, I imagine we'll be over 100% crits on enemies we're hitting a bunch to stack the debuffs on. So it should help a bit with a single target. We'll take potency on the taser every time. Getting the boomerang to 18 would be a huge help, but we are trying to do full taser and beam stuff here. See what we can do with that. So I guess I'm going to have to try and stay in lava pools, but also stay fairly close to the bosses to try and get the taser explosions. Help out a bit. Can't really do that against the range guy. So I'm not really sure against the twins. I guess we just try and get big chain lightning hits throughout them. Try and keep the passive up at least. Oh, I could maybe pull them through the flowers over there. Or I could maybe lag out. Turn damage numbers off of this. Try and get some flower hits onto the range guy and the shellback, I guess. Luck. Having the shellback elite is just so annoying during an already kind of annoying boss fights. Alright, we have a bunch of detonators. I can maybe pull them through here. Status is probably the highest damage here for maximizing our chain lightning. Yeah, occasionally you just get like 6 non-dodges in a row and it's kind of hard to keep the buff up. So the reflex calibrator definitely would have helped a bit with that. Yup. Potency at purple, I will take that. A little bit rough, but the recon scout passive is immensely helpful there. More electrical and potency. Potency, How's the reload on that? It's 0.67. I'm not sure we really need to invest more into it. Take a bit of HP,
Surely next time will be better.
electrical
I'll
and
take it.
potency, some global reload since that'll help out the boomerang as well.
Next.
Status, probably luck that's... I guess I will grab that to go ahead and grab the double for even more stacks and XP collection. I guess it's fine to hold the nitrous since we do have the powder.
There's aliens to be killed and gold to be mined.
We'll turn damage back on for now. Unless it gets super hectic and I need to see exactly where I'm going. The AoE damage actually seems quite good now. Just needs to get that single target up somehow. Like maybe something good on the weapon box?
The scavengers lit up like a Christmas tree. We got a swarm incoming. We can't send in supplies until you clear out the landing zone.
Here it is! What did we get? Cryo... Oh no! No! We have cryo upgrades from the drone, we have throwable upgrades from the boomerang. No, that is so bad here. What did I get on it? Explosion radius? That is such a bad weapon box, my god. One of the main weapons I wanted to avoid off of that. Yep, cryo damage.
Swarm detected. Get ready. They'll be with you shortly.
It's a good weapon, just extremely bad for our very specific setup where I was trying to avoid some tags for the build.
Objective completed. Excellent job.
Also, it's not even going to have very good single target damage to help us out on that front. It's not bad if you get it up to the triple explosion. I am missing a lot of gold, it looks like. Okay, nice. The flowers took out the hoarder for me, since that would take me ages. We're probably okay on reload on there. I could really use a bit more mining speed, and especially that will help out with the turbo encabulator if we find that later on. And I do really want that now that we have the weapon box to go with it. We don't have to take reload on that anymore. It's still a decent stat, but I think I'm going to take the global upgrade to help out the TASER as well. I think we're still missing quite a bit of gold. Oh well. I guess we'll take that for the eventual overclock. Finally, a decent magnet. Let boomerang collect a bit more XP. grab our status, some mining. We can finish that off since we have a ton of nitra. Don't think it really matters since it's pretty trash now without the electric. Grab some of that. Don't think I want any of that. Status damage. Take a cheap potency for that. I don't think I need that.
Let's shake it up.
Throwable, yup. We'll lock the status damage. And I don't think I want any of that.
You've got work to do and quotas to meet. You have your objectives.
But the nitrogenic powder actually is... Did you guys see the Dugat firing in one direction there for a second? That was pretty strange. But yeah, the nitra powder does make holding the nitra there a lot more valuable, so that's one of the saving graces here at least. Probably that scales the best with the reload speed here. More debuff will improve our other weapons a little bit through that. Hello? Let's probably turn that off for the rest of the run now. Do not want that to get any worse. I think it's probably the chain lightning taser doing massive hits through a huge swarm. With tons of status effects applied from all the potency we've been stacking. Throwable damage, yup, that is not great. Don't really care for any of these. The grudges might be kind of interesting when you're sitting in the lava, but it does get reduced by your dodge chance. Honestly, we have a ton of rerolls. Diver's Manual is solid. Potency or movement? I think we're okay on movement. Grab some more potency for my second best weapon. Break these guys out of their cage so we can slaughter them for some XP.
Drop pod has arrived. Get there before the timer
global damage is the best here. Status damage, cheap potency.
Courses through me. Nothing for me here. Let's try again.
Paint
If it
job,
looks good, it shoots better. What else?
global damage, some more potency for that.
I'm feeling lucky.
Electric
This is
and
my pick.
potency.
Nope. Try again.
Kind of light on gold now. We'll take an overclock
Little extra
there.
special.
I don't have any of the scanners, so I may as well just make it better at damage and freezing. Do I want that? I'm not really sure. Probably not.
This one looks
We get
better.
decent damage from the nitro powder.
Load up and get going, miner. We have quotas to fulfill. Well done, you got more. The scanner just lit up like a Christmas tree. We got a swarming coming.
The extra freezing honestly is pretty nice, but my taser upgrades.
The swarm is heading your way. Load up.
Trying to collect the red sugar on the ground over there with the boomerangs. Big electrical.
Got a blocked landing site for the supply pod. Clear it out, miner. The swarm is heading your way. Load up. Supply pod.
Ammo rig. It doesn't have a fire rate, so I guess it wouldn't apply to that. That's actually kind of weird though. It does have multiple shots. But with no fire rate stat, I can't see it working on that, so it would only work on the Zukov. So I guess we reroll here. That's actually not bad on the Recon Scout. I'm down for that. Puts us at 45% while moving. Makes it a lot easier to keep the passive up, which is pretty huge. So enemies are going from a 65% chance to hit you down to 55, which is actually not bad. Due to math and stuff, yo. Get some big flower hits on the shellback. Flower power, yo. Yeah, we'll take that to try and get it up to 18 eventually.
They got your scent now. Threat level increased. Drop pod has arrived. Get there before the timer runs out. The drop pod is not going to hang around.
Try and get the passive up here. Oh yeah, I need to keep moving for the extra dodge.
Gather up your spears and get onto that drop pod. It's about to leave. That elite never stood a chance. I will see to it there is beer in the house when you make it back. If you make it back.
Perfectly balanced resources. Reload's pretty good on that. I guess we'll grab some random stuff for it.
Nope. Try again.
Mining would be helpful if I get the encabulator. There's only a few floors left. I'll get a little bit more.
Feel struck. What else we got?
Global
I can do
damage.
something like this. I want another go.
Guess we'll grab some electrical
Better,
crits.
dwarf. I'm feeling lucky.
That is a bunch of stuff I can't even use. But good thing we have the nitro powder.
Your objectives. Get it done, miner.
Get the job done and get back in a hurry. I feel quite alive.
Electrical potency and damage.
The scavengers lit over a Christmas tree. We got a swarm incoming. The surface is too packed for supply pods to land. Please clear it. The swarm is heading your way.
Ooh, encabulator. That's kind of what we've been building for. So we're at 161 damage, 91 reload. Brings us up to 239 damage and 134 reload.
The swarm is heading your way. Load up.
We're 3 levels away on the cryo, and then it would be some pretty expensive levels to get on the drone. But I might go for a bit more potency on it now. Nothing great. We'll take the taser level. I am very low on gold still. Good thing I got all that mining speed because we're still fairly slow on it. $117, I think there should be more somewhere. Unless I re-rolled, which I don't think I did.
Get it wrapped up, miner.
Yeah, it seems like I'm gonna be missing some gold here. Rip.
Think you can kill me? Well, think again. Think you can kill me? Well, think again.
have taser damage. I'm just gonna go for the overclocks here. We get a few overclocks, that's gonna be some decent global damage and reload speed, which will end up as more damage in the long run. Grab our status damage, some potency.
I want another go.
Big status damage gives me only one reroll left, but I gotta do it.
This works. Show me more.
We are on the last shop, I think, so no point saving any of that. I think I'd rather have the crit than just flat damage on that, since that'll buff every weapon here, which is a lot more than just that one. Pay to win. I am very low on gold. Let's see what else there is. No. No. Multi-tool, that's pretty good. I think we're at 88%. That goes up to 141% global. So we're now down to 0.31 on that, even though I mostly avoided reload. 0.5 on the boomerang. We got the full weapon box artifacts combos, just missing a few overclocks for the turbo encabulator full value. That would get us an overclock, and that's some decent value. We can improve the explosion radius a bit of it as well. Alright, hopefully it's not too bad. We are kind of shredding them in AoE situations, and maybe that'll let us see the electrical stacks on the boss. Try and stay a bit close so that the tiny taser explosion will hit him as well. but I also need to keep up the passive. And the dodge thing for moving. Huh, he only threw one cocoon and then he instantly charged there. Tried to bamboozle me. Actually, not too bad at the end there. Do have some decent crit chance off of the nitro powder. We have some solid global damage and reload from the weapon box combined with the encabulator and the multi-tool. Had some nice survivability with a ration plus an early sugar cube. And then we had the chemist kit for even more status effect stats. And we actually had some decent freezing with those two, although that really messed up my upgrade pull off of the weapon box. Probably one of the worst weapons I could get for that. We had 4.7 million stacks applied by the taser. That's not too bad. That's about 3 times as much as the boomerang, a bit more than that. Bit of freezing there. So the only electrical damage was these two. That's about 103 million. So we had about 57 million from the status. So it seems like the upfront damage is way better here. But it was cool to try at least. And it probably did help out the AoE damage a bit. Doing some random chain lightnings between all the enemies we're hitting. But that's going to be it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.